Can you hear me now? All right. You guys can hear me now, right? But there's no noise cancellation. So let me... It is my Windows setup doing stupid things again, where it decides whether it likes the mic in one setting or not. So I use NVIDIA Broadcast to clear up the background noise if I have printers going and stuff like that. And it's being stupid. That's all I can say. Windows is being Windows. So with that, let's get started. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome back into the Dragon's Den. My name's Digital Dragon. I'm a 3D printing variety streamer here on Twitch and YouTube. I do everything from machine unboxings like our X1 carbons, Centurion carbons that are underneath, to full-up printer builds like our Vorons, beta testing like our box turtles, and various hot ends that I've had through the shop here. So welcome on in, everybody. You just want to know that you have prepared for this day. Which day is that? You got me scared now. Did you stream one day too early for me to use Prime Sub you've been saving? Okay, do I need to stream tomorrow? I can stream tomorrow. I'll stream tomorrow. Okay, I'll stream tomorrow. Why not? I will stream tomorrow. So, yeah. Hopefully you guys aren't hearing all the printer stuff going on. Give me. Oh. Sorry. So, feeling a little bit better. The sinus/ear infection I'm dealing with is getting tamped down pretty well by the antibiotics. And yeah, so I apologize for not streaming on Tuesday, but I was just not feeling it at all. So thank you for bearing with me on Tuesday night. Well, welcome on in, Chewy. How's it going, projects? Hope you're doing well. So where we left off on the Micron build, we're pretty darn close. We were working on movement on the last stream, and we came across one of the last things that we needed to do, which is get our PZ probe wired up. And then we have to configure the PZ probe so that we can do more than just X and Y. We're going to need to be able to do Z homing at some point. So we've got everything set up. Let me switch over here to the bench. And I've got a pigtail made. Now we made the pigtail using this JST SH wiring. Now these are pre-crimped wires. That is an 810 connector. So yeah, I don't even have any crimp connectors that came with this kit. They were all pre-crimped wires. However, when I went to try and crimp those wires on the DuPonts, they just pulled straight off because that wire is so thin. So what I wound up doing was extending each one of these out using some cable from a spare motor wire that I had laying around, right? And I staggered the joints so they weren't going to fall right on top of each other. And you see that I went from this yellow-green to blue for the signal. Black is black, red is red, and then the signal color just needed to be something different. Now, I'm feeling better, Eagle. Like I said, I still get a little bit of runny nose. That stuff's still going on. But all in all, a little bit better. Uh, the antibiotics are helping a lot with the nose running and getting some of that dried up and everything. So that's good there. But we made our pigtail. Now on our PZ probe, there is truly 8 wires that come with the cable that comes with the PZ probe. But 3 of those we use. The other 5 are used to either connect via UART to change some configuration stuff, or to talk to the sensor, or a UPDI or an I2C connector, which would definitely be for changing presets and stuff like that, though they recommend doing UART if you're going to do that. So what we're currently looking to do here, let me switch over to this. Working on organizing last minute stuff for the Nerf battle Saturday. There you go. Right, I keep forgetting you've been doing a lot of the Nerf battles. I'll tell you what, you're a braver man than I to be putting together some Nerf blasters right after Jeremy and Keela had their stream cut off, and with all the stuff going on in the world right now, which is probably why they're hyper vigilant. Yeah, it helps we get that up. So what we're going to be doing is we need to get our PZ probe plugged in. So we've got power, ground, and signal is what would normally come out of this, and the power and the ground kind of rotate. Doesn't really matter. What we need to do is line up power, ground, and signal when we're adding it to the connector. And what we're doing, I think this thing must have updated on me as well, because it completely killed all my windows. Bear with me one second here. We're using an ant head and an EBB 36 for this build. Hey Pez Liz, how are you doing? Hey Ram, how's it going? I'm doing good, Pez Liz. A couple of days of antibiotics in me, and I'm feeling a little bit better. Yesterday, I was down and out a little bit, letting the meds kick in and doing a lot of other self-care stuff. And yeah, feeling better. Hey, Stay Creeping, how's it going? Yeah, let me go over to this one real fast. So what we're doing is we're kind of following these directions here for the ant head, and what it's going to tell us to do is do our probe, pick to width, make it as big as possible for these old eyes. So it has our upper sensor, right? The upper sensor is what we installed, the one above the extruder gear. That way when it trips, it can still reverse the filament out because the filament hasn't passed fully out of the gear yet. So you want to have at least that one in place on a tool head sensor. And it wants us to use this probe section of the connectors right here. So what we're doing is we're using the first connector and the ground for that sensor. And then we're going to use PB9, 5-volt, and ground for our sensor for the PZ probe. So PB9, which would be the sense wire, that would be the blue one, that's going to go right in the middle of this connector. Right next to that will be the 5-volt. And then next to that will be the ground. And we're going to be able to plug this back in on the PZ board. Bring these wires down around. Remember which way it's going. Sure, you gotta get the orders right. We don't want to blow the sensor. Get that on there. And we're trying to keep these wires as tucked and tight as possible because we don't have a lot of room over here in the corner. And in fact, the more I think about it, I might want to, we'll leave it down. We'll leave it down. I was thinking I might want to go up, but I'll just leave it kind of tucked down here. Okay, and so that gives us the last wiring on our tool head. We did go ahead and get our, we fixed the, the CAN bus cable. We had broken one of the lines in the CAN bus cable, and so I had to re-terminate the CAN bus cable, which makes the exposed wire even shorter, which is nice because it gives me a little bit thicker part here to do strain relief on, so hopefully we won't have any issues. Yeah, I've been dealing with a sinus and ear infection. So that's been kind of rough on me. So we have everything mounted now. We have it wired up. We will need to set up the clipper config. Do have some type of clipper config set up there. During probing, reduce the current as much as possible without causing a stall. A good starting point is 40%, but lowering it further if possible will reduce the risk of damaging your bed. We have set our probing speed at 5 millimeters per second, so go slow. In our testing procedures, we use the Roto tool board. Make sure you correctly name it as well as the other pins according to your setup. Probe and check if you experience false or no triggering following the steps in the troubleshooting. Okay, so we'll have to take a look at that next. I have my coins done, Eagle, and both of these printers are currently printing coins for Evil Diesel. So we've got Evil Diesel's coins going as well, and I've almost got a full box. So this Dragon's going to have a box, I'm going to have a box, Evil Diesel's going to have a box. So around 1,500 coins or more, we should be good to go. I hope. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. We've also got, so we also have, not the one I want. Why are you standing? I'm going to pick the right one. We've also got new business cards, and we've got a banner for the show. So we're going to have, since we're going to have a table down on the floor, we did go down and get a 3-foot by 6-foot banner made. We're going to see how this one goes, and maybe get another one made that is bigger. Like, I have no idea what it's going to look like. Me and visual spacing right now is not the best, so we'll see how it looks when we get there. And based on that, I think most vendor booths are 8x8, but at it's a 6-foot. You know, if we're back at a 6-foot table, then we should be able to sit it along the front of the table as well. And it can dual whether we have a table or a space behind us. So that's kind of some thoughts going there. But we do have the banner. We do have business cards. We're going to have coins done. We're going to have Death Racers, both mine and Mrs. Dragon's, which is getting a redesign by Evil Diesel. And Mrs. Dragon, who are coming up with the idea. And yeah, we're not bringing the dragster this year just because, well, I never fixed the wheel that yonked off, and we were going to change it from belt driven to gear driven, and I mean, I could probably get it done, but I haven't made this printer move yet, and I still need to make the riff push plastic. So the riff has been moving, and I'm holding it, but I have not pushed plastic on the riff. So we've got to push plastic on the riff, which might be something I do tomorrow, since Projects in Dad's Garage wants me to stream something tomorrow. Hey Waters, how's it going? Hey Waters, did we get the gears over to the high school? Oh. Stay here, be good, talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. I need to go grab some. So I did a post about an hour ago where I was talking about, they're putting it together right now. Awesome. I hope those go well. So I've been running off some parts, so I finally broke out my PPS carbon fiber. Right? PPS carbon fiber. These that's me dropping them on my table here. Right? So this is the PPS carbon fiber. This is a standard piece. Yeah, I need to print the bell, but you can still hear how these kind of ring when you drop them, right? So what this is 2 different sets of parts for the Jabberwocky, and I figured might as well go ahead and get a couple of parts built and set for that. So I've got a couple of sets here for the Jabberwocky because I do have a couple of Jabberwockies, and we're gonna get those installed on something here in the near future. So we've got those set up here. One's built, one needs to be built. This is actually going to go in the Trident. And I've been inspired by a few other people doing mounts in the PPS carbon fiber, and I believe Project said that he got one of the best input shapers that he has seen out of a full gantry that was printed in that. And I tried it. Well, um, you know, I can't go to a show without ordering stuff from KB3D apparently, and I needed to get a few things from him. So I've ordered a few things. It probably won't come in till after the show, um, because I ordered it with I ordered the LDO all-wheel drive CNC gantry. So I've got that coming. That's going to go on the Trident back here when we make mods over here. So this one's going to go all-wheel drive gantry with a Jabberwocky, and we're rebuilding the box turtle to full spec, like full final spec, and doing an enclosure on it. And then this box turtle will get rebuilt to the final spec. And this one is the one that's going to get, this is the 2.4, and it's going to get changed into a still changer. So that's what's going to be going on with these two after 3D Printopia. And I've also got, well, I've been printing out parts for the stealth changer, and I've got the filament from EPAX to start printing the parts for the Ender 3 NG build. So we've got a build line up to get us through the winter some, along with a few other things. I'm doing better. Waters. What am I doing? I am feeling better. I don't know why I did that one. We're actually going to stay on the main screen, actually, because we need to plug this in and bring up the printer so that we can work on the config. Oh, before I do that, the other thing I want to say is I swapped out this switch. The switch that was in this switched socket was very loose, right? So you barely look at it and it would switch off without moving. Like literally you could just tap the side of it just like that and you would either lose power or power would jump back in. Didn't like that, so I popped this switch out. I bought some new ones and put a replacement in here. So I didn't replace the whole outlet, just the switch itself. And so that's good now. We're going to go ahead and get this powered up. And then this waters is going to be heading down there for the big boy. Starting to look at that right now. So the other thing that I printed in PPS-CF is the mount for the Blue Storm Terra tool head that we put on the Optimus P1. I didn't take a picture of it. I just kind of mounted it and out I went because that was the day I went to the urgent care. But the tool head's down there. It is mounted on it. I've got to get a cable, a CAN bus cable. Unfortunately, the CAN bus cables I'm seeing are 3 meters, and I don't think 3 meters is going to be long enough. We're going to have to check. We have to kind of reassemble a few things, but we're going to do some checking and hopefully see if we can get it with a 3 meter. If not, well, that's the thing is we can make our own CAN bus cable. But remember, that board is the XT30 2+2. And while I can get the connectors, I much prefer to have the overmolded connector on it. So we may just take a standard 3 meter and extend it or see about getting one custom made. because I do not like having the bare wires going into a connector on a printer that's going to be doing a lot of moving without proper strain relief. And that thing does not have proper strain relief for much. But okay, we've got a section here that they've provided for probe. So what we need to do is grab this section, copy it, and we need to come over to the Micron. Where was our Micron? No, no. Oh. Hey, there we go. Machine. We go to the PZ probe, or do we go? I have a feeling that that's pretty darn close. So let me. Hold it right there so I can just kind of look at it side by side. Probe, pen, XY offset 0, speed 5, samples 2, retract distance 3, retries 1, lift speed 10, activate G code, drop currents down to 0.4, deactivate G code, go back to run current. Okay, yeah, so it's pretty much all the same. The only difference is the call out for the probe. So toolhead board THB probe is the pen. So let's do a little looking. Our toolhead board is the EBV36 config. MCU toolhead board, and it's the probe, and it's probe, which is listed as PB6, and EBB right here. Okay, we are not in PB6, we are in PB9. So we may have to change that configuration. Now, is PB9 called out anywhere? PB9 is listed as BL control. So what we'll do is comment that out. And probe is going to be PB9. And then the end stop, we set the end stop up as PB8. End stop is PB8. So X end stop will be PB8 instead of PB5. And do we have PB8 identified? PB8 was identified as a BL sensor that's already been commented out. So that should be good. We should be able to do a save and restart here. And hopefully our probe should come up and be active. I do have a light on the probe. We see about sliding this around some, so you might be able to see the light here on the probe. Very small, but we do have a light. So that's indicative that the probe itself is at least getting power. So is there nothing here that says no testing? Hey, just well, just go for it. Okay, kind of scary. We've got some system packages to upgrade, so let's get a couple of those done. Um, oh yeah, definitely. Um, Most definitely. So yeah, Projects in Dad's Garage. If you're still here, the machine that you put the PPSCF parts on. Um, have you been using that a lot since you got it rebuilt? And how has it been printing over time? While this is installing and doing its thing, let's pop over here and pay some bills for now. So for those of you that don't know, Hedamame is a sponsor of the channel now. We do have an affiliate code for them, but Hedamame is a audiophile style headphone setup. This is a really great kit. You get all the electronic parts in one kit for either the Hedamame, which is an over the ear, or excuse me, surrounds the ear, covers the ear, and then there's a Minimami, which sits on the ears. Um, but either way, in the Hedamame, you get an experience kit, which is a full 50 millimeter driver package. You can get it with or without a mic. And that one's geared towards the experience is geared towards movies, heavy gamers, stuff like that. The Precision is a set of 40 millimeter drivers. These are high quality drivers, and these are for your audiophiles. So these are the folks that like listening to music and have that ear to tune in music just the right way. And then Classic, these are your standard 40 millimeter drivers. They're still really good, but these are more geared towards your desktop. You're sitting there in meetings all day, you're using headphones, you're listening to basic music, YouTube videos, stuff like that, when you're not trying to bug people. Now, these are wired headphones, hands. So you will need to have a headphone jack on your uh, PC or your laptop. One thing I will make a comment of, newer MacBooks, if you're working on a MacBook with Intel Silicon, you cannot get, well, you can get the mic won't work. You will be using the standard built-in mic or getting a secondary mic. The mic does not work through the audio jack because that audio jack is just a headphone out jack. It's not a mic in jack. Um, but once again, we do have Hedamames, we do have Minimames. Once again, these are the ones that sit on your ears, not over your ears. A little bit cheaper to go here, smaller drivers, 40 millimeter precision. Once again, audiophile quality, some deep bass, Classic, or for your meetings and such. So if you've got some time, head on over to Hedamame. If you do a bang Hedamame in chat, it will come up with my link. And yes, I know Pezliz wears them. Zombie wears them. I've had mine on my desk since I built my original pair like 2.5, 3 years ago. And I use them for all of my meetings all the time. They're great, especially when you have printers going behind you. And when the mic was working, the mic has noise cancellation. So really, really great set of headphones there. And I highly recommend them. I really do. Like I said, I use them all the time. Um, or just all the time. I do have a set of wireless when I'm out and about, but when I'm at my desk, they're right there at my desk, and I'm wearing them. Yeah, I like the ones that go over my ears, partly because you know, I got these. So if you get stuff sitting right on your ear, it pushes the back of your ear up against the backside of your glasses, and it hurts after a while. With the big ones, they've got the gel foam ear cups or ear pads, and even though it is putting a little bit of pressure right here, it's not much, and it doesn't cause me any fatigue or wear issues. So yes, yes, yes. Hey, Mad Scientist Slack, welcome in. Is that Slack or Stack? Slack. Good. There are wireless options with Bluetooth. Um, are there wireless? Let me double check. I didn't. By the way, folks, feel free to update everything but Clipper, unless you have to update Clipper. Such a pain. Like, um, do they have extra parts, ear pads? You can buy everything separately, so if something breaks, you can get a new one. Okay, so it doesn't look like they are selling a wireless option, but oh, and if you don't want to build your own, they do sell the complete set, so you can buy these fully built out. You do not have to build your own. Um, yeah, it's a receiver that you use with them. Morgan doesn't have them. It's something Zombie and Tech. Yeah, so I know I asked Zombie what he uses because I know he has a Bluetooth transceiver for his, and yeah, it's not just a Bluetooth transceiver. It is an amplifier, and it's like 150, $200. But yes, there are options that you can basically make them wireless. And trust me, I have considered it. I have considered it. But yes, edamame definitely, definitely, definitely. Like I said, I need to reprint and build and rebuild mine because mine's been knocked off the desk numerous times. So especially the band, the cup piece right here needs to be replaced. But I I wear these for all of my meetings and when I'm sitting here at home, and it has been great since I've been working from home with the since COVID and everything. So definitely, definitely, highly, highly, highly recommend edamames or minamames if depending on which style you like. Any obscure filaments that you know of, looking for some different colors for a blaster build? Do you want obscure, or do you want maybe new, not released? Because she probably has access to some of those too. Okay. Um, we're now we're now caught back up on doing some updates. We've got the Z probe installed. Now what I want to do is just query my end stops. Why is Y triggered? Y should not be triggered. Uh-oh. What's going on with Y? Why is the Y end stop being weird? Z end stop open. Well, I'm seeing the lights, so that's good. All right. So if I time it right, I get the fact that that's triggering. So why? Why? Why is Y triggering? Let me double check here. So the Y end stop in here should not be set. It should be commented out. The only thing we should have potentially is okay. We're gonna play this. X there. Why is there? Four giggles. We're going to go ahead and comment out the step direction and enable pin. This is set to MCU stop Y M stop. Y. Should not be. Basically, I'm commenting out all of the pins because our A and B and the X motor are coming off of our GBB15 board. So we got rid of the temperature sensors, or most of them. There's step, dir, enable, and end stop pin for the Y motor. Same thing for the X motor. So here's an issue. And I'll do a save and restart just to make sure that it picks it up. Order matters. Okay? So everything starts here from your printer config. So when you open your printer config, it takes this in line by line, and it's going to pull in MCU information, CAN bus, MCU toolhead board, CAN bus, include main sale config. It'll pull that in. Then it starts going through here. It's going to include the Leviathan config, which is just pin mapping. And then the next thing in the line is include the Big Tree Tech EBB36 config. Okay? So at this point, we've pulled in pin mappings and the EBB36 toolhead board. So coming down through here, it would have picked up this X section, this Y section, right? And then we're going down, going down, going down. And I'm going to fast track to the bottom. Right down here is where we see the include GBB15. It should now pull in the GBB15 and overwrite any of the other settings that are called out in the stepper X, stepper Y section, provided that the section names are exactly the same. It will overwrite those pin designators. Should. I have had weirdness happen. That's why I went and removed those pin designators, is to ensure that it would pick it up from the GBB file. Because it's the only place it can get them now. Okay? So now that we've done that, I want to come down here and query my end stops again. Okay, stepper Y is still triggered. And it's nothing's near stepper Y back here. If I push on it and reset it, it's still triggered. So something's wrong there. And I have a feeling our stepper Y in stop is listed as gantry MCU colon PA3. Chances are, all we need to do is put a caret there because it's not seeing a pull-up resistor, so it's not able to talk to the in stop correctly. So it's triggered now. Still triggered. Please tell me I do not have a broken wire here. We turn this around and I'll try and look at the crimp side. Crimp looks good. Crimp's good. It looks like a good connection. Let's look at the pinout again for the GBB15. Make sure that we're going in the right spot. USB. The USB is on the front side. So this is the front side. So this is the right motor, and we're going into the right motor's end stop. Going into the right motor's end stop, so that would be stop 1. Or MA's stop 1. So it's the MA end stop. See, I just looked and realized, I'm like, they're calling out pins, yet there's not a single pin identified on that pinout diagram right there. So yeah, still doesn't show pinouts. That's great. Motor A, motor B. So honestly, I don't know if I have. I don't even know if I have the pinout right. I'm assuming motor A, motor B. Okay. Going into motor A's. Whatchamacallit. Okay, this is a stop 1 connector on the GBB15 PCB, which is what we are configured into because with the USB there, no, I'm in stop 2. Okay. I was thinking rotate it like that. That's not because the USB connector is I'll say, facing away from me. So we take this board and we flip it. I would put this as the thermistor at the front, the end stop 2 at the back. So this is end stop 2 that we're going in for the right side motor. So that would explain that. So now I'm confused. Let's just do this. Let's do that. Undo that. Save, restart. And we'll see if our end stop pen acts as expected. Hey, it's open. When I close it, it's closed and triggered. Okay, there we go. Problem solved. Simple things, right? Simple things. Okay. Where were we? Thank you. So there's this document. We did the stepper buzz. And I believe our steppers are going in the right direction. But we're going to home X and then home Y. We're going to do that from the dashboard here. We're going to home X. It should go to the right and stay there. We're going to home Y. And that's not right. I wonder if I just have to swap the X and Y sections. Like literally just say X, X, Y, Y. Um, That's going to make things messy. Maybe. So that. This is going to need the diag and that stuff. Okay. Here. this gets that one. That one. Diag. Are they both the same diag? Doesn't mention it there. Um, where did I get the diag? Yeah, Cookie Cat has some PETG ABS TPU. And yep, you're back, Waters. Um, you're building a blaster that's 10 kilograms? Holy cow, dude. Okay, I'm not sure if I just broke things, so we'll see. X. Yeah. So diag pen is not right. Where did I get the darn diag pen? Don't care about cam boot, don't care about clipper. Pen out does not list any actual pens on this site. So where did I get a pen number? All right, does anybody know the GBB 15 by any chance? Yeah, the GBB 15 is specifically designed for um, small printers so that you can run the motors as right off that board. So it's running the X and the Y or the B and the A motor. I'm just trying to figure out if I've got the darn thing in the right direction. And what I'm trying to do is figure out what the diag pins will be, because I had sixless homing working before, but I have a feeling I have my motors plugged in backwards. Oh, duh, it says it right there, and I'm just not apparently able to read right. Okay, so that one's that. The PB0 is the diag pin. There we go. I'm an idiot. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Now we're going to see. Let's try and do the smart thing instead of just sending it. Let's do stepper buzz again on our X and Y. And X, back left motor should rotate. This one should rotate. This one is that one. Just going to lightly put my hand on my finger on the belt. That is the one that's moving. These might be going in the wrong directions, but okay, so that's a sensitivity issue. We can solve that. Yeah, it's PB0. Yep, it's tiny and goes on the gantry. It's exactly where it is. It's on the back of the gantry right here. Um, it was just me not reading the, you know, why read the board? Let's see if Y is going in the right direction. Most home, okay, so it didn't home X first, so we're going to have to GBB 15. X stepper threshold was 80. Let's go to 90. Hey, Petty Ruxpin, how's it going? Well, yeah, RTFM. Read the manual and read all of the lines of the code. It helps. Okay. See. That's weird. Eh? All right. Now I've got to figure out like why did it move over and then home, or why home to there instead of going straight back? And I'm asking because I've never seen it do that. So Okay, where's... Entry level, idle timeout. Is that in the pub? Did that change things? Bed mesh homing override. There we go. That might be why. Okay, so move X over, then home Y. Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense now why it did what it did. And that's all I was trying to figure out is why did it do what it did? So that makes sense now. Okay. Um, so we've homed X, we've homed Y. Do we home Z? Do we? X and Y seem to be moving in the right direction. We homed X, we homed Y. Things are moving in the right directions. Bed located. Homed X, we've homed Y. Now move the tool head to the left until the nozzle is in line with the Z end stop. Nope, we're not doing that. Because we don't have that, so that's what we want to do. So let's just see if all right, so that's Y0. That's looking like it's going to be pretty close. Um, that's X0. Pretty darn close. We're obviously going to have to get down to the bed to make sure that that's good. We're going to be doing nozzle probing. So for the heck of it, you know what? Unable to parse bed mesh. Z3, unable to parse something in bed mesh. Okay, the bed mesh is not there. Bed mesh was in the PZ probe section, I think, right? Here's the bed mesh. We saw it come down here. We did this. There we go. There's some extra wordage there that didn't need to be there. Okay. Now, I didn't see it actually attempt to go up or down, but here's one thing that I want to note. All right. When we hold X and Y, it should be moving away from the bed before it does its move, right? Should always safely move away from the bed. Watch the gantry in which way it goes when I say home X. It's dropping down. That tells me every single one of my Z's are backwards. Because it should not go down. It should go up for a safe distance, not drive down towards the bed. So we need to come into our printer config and swap the directions on every single one of our Z's. So the bang there for Z. Z1 is going to have a bang removed. Z2, we're going to add a bang. And Z3 will take away a bang. For an exclamation point, we'll do a save and restart. Yeah. It's going and it won't stop. Yeah, I have a friend who they're going through an audit right now. They're a testing lab and they're going through an audit. And all right, there we go. Went up first. Yay! So they're a testing lab and they're going through this audit. And apparently today was the last day they were doing the readout. And as they were sitting down, the auditor was just starting to take his seat when his boss, who is a former owner of the company and is leaving anyhow, like jumped up and just started yelling at the auditor that they don't know what they're doing because they had a bunch of findings that they have to go and address now. And I was like, oh, so not how you want to drive an audit readout, you know? But yeah, that's about how my week's been going as well, with various things that work based on security stuff in the news. But okay, now I'm going to hold Z and I'm going to cheat. No trigger on Z after full movement. It didn't move at all. Huh. Okay. PZ probe. That's the files. Copy and paste it directly from those files. Yes. And we did change the tool head board, right? Because we did see a trigger as I was playing, as I was, booping it. I am seeing the light, so I am getting a trigger, but I never saw it move. But what I am seeing it do, whoops. Let me do something real fast. Let's see, because I don't think I have a bed mesh or anything called out in here. Actually, Z stepper 0. Probe Z virtual in stop is there. Just making sure that we don't have any probe or bed mesh or any of that called for here. We have quad gantry level called here. And again, print start another macro. Hey Bexy Beans, how's it going? Sneaks in while Dragon is distracted. Yes, yes, yes. Dragon is getting distracted by staring at lines of code on a screen. It is fabulous. Okay, so we saw nothing there. We had a virtual probe. We had the PZ configured pull up. Full headboard probe. We did change. Did we change? Yeah, we did change the tool headboard. Is the tool headboard called THB though? It is called THB, and we changed the probe pen to Papa Bravo 9, which is the correct probe pen based on the EBB 36. 8 is the filament runout sensor. Papa Bravo 9 is the probe pen. So that's correct. So I'm seeing the activation code and the deactivation code. Home X, Home Y, Z. It goes to the location and that's it. It does not run, well, it goes to the location. We see that it does this when it goes to probe. Yeah, I'm not seeing it actually do the probe. Huh. Well, I guess that's where we come over and say, hey, maybe let's look at the troubleshooting and see what it's telling us. Reduce motor current during probing. We did that. Use the built-in filter. This can be particularly useful for noise from fan or heater. Use report ADC command via the Arduino terminal to determine the frequency of the unwanted noise. Decouple the fan wire away from the heater wire. the set command in the command section. That might be what it is we haven't changed any sensitivity, so it's probably the default sensitivity, and I'm not even seeing like looking at the console. It dropped the run curve. Put up the cold current, dropped to the run current again, went back up to the hold current, and then said no trigger on stepper Z after full movement. So that's telling me I think what's happened is we stalled the motors, right? They would be running direct drive motors. Or excuse me, a geared motor system. We're running the G2E planetary gears on this. What's up? Figured you'd pop in while you take a break from the great purge of crap in the house. Well, when you're done purging crap at your house, if you need to come continue, come purge some crap at this house. I mean, there's not much. There's goodies here, but. Or were you saying that you're making room so that I can bring over another few sets of printers so I can get them off the living room floor before Mrs. Dragon gets home? Look at me, out Twitch. You got your name back. Hey, Timor, how's it going? So we're fighting with settings right now. And basically what I just realized was I think it's attempting to probe, but the motors are stalling because when we do the probe, through the PZ probe config, we're dropping the run current down to 0.4. So I'm going to up this to 0.5. And we'll do it again and see if 0.5 lets it actually move the Z. I know it's moving with 8, and if we need to, we'll go all the way up, but we're going to start with 4 because it wants to go real slow because of the PZ probe, because we're nozzle probing here. You already raided the fridge? Yeah, I'm talking printer goodies. How many printers do I have? In this room right now, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, but this one isn't mine. So I've got 18 printers in this room. And then downstairs, I've got Mrs. Dragon's P1S, a large 0G Merc, Trident 350, Bug Boo, the Olsen Super Racer, the Kitty Q2, the Crucicore 1, the Anycubic Cobra S1E, the Creality K1C, the Chibo Tarantula, which needs to be put back together, the Crime Against Humanity, which is some sort of an ANET A3 clone. So that's 11 downstairs. The Ender 3 NG in its donor, which we'll be building when we get back from Printopia, and a CR10 still in the box. So we said 18 up here and 13 downstairs is 31. And I have two over at Ecovate 3D. I have a Boron 2.4 and my Prusa Mini are still down at Ecovate 3D. And that's not counting the 5 Prusa Mark IIIs, the Flying Bear Reborn 2, and the original OG Ender 3 chassis. I'm going to say chassis because it's so modified. So Diesel has at least 7. Oh, and my Mars 2. So there. Oh, I forgot about the tiny one over here. So Diesel has at least 8, and I've got 19 in this room because I forgot about the Tiny Machine's little resin printer. Do I need an intervention? No. I need a secondary space called a store. So for those of you that don't know, I am looking for a location that I can move some of this stuff so that I can do custom prints for people. And that'll be the 4 Centauri Carbons and the 2 X1Cs primarily doing that, with some of the bigger ones doing other stuff. I will have some of my builds on display there because I'm going to get into custom building, selling kits, and selling parts here in the local area. That is my big dream. That is my retirement. I want to sit here and do this full time and stop doing cybersecurity full time for big corporations. Okay, so I need to figure out how to change the sensitivity. On the PZ Pro. Press button to select configurable presets. That's great. Sorry, I'm like sitting here looking at a screen that you guys cannot see. But do I need an intervention? No. That is why a couple of the projects that we're doing is rebuilding box turtles, bringing them out of the beta build into the spec, right? We're bringing them into spec. I will be getting rid of some of those, right? We're going to be upgrading a 2.4 to a still changer. We're going to be upgrading the Trident to the all-metal gantry, one of the Jabberwockies, and a fully spec box turtle enclosed. Meant to have an important follow-up meeting in the morning, but cannot shift the headache. So I really am happy you're streaming so I can just listen to you and take my mind off of it. Well, I am glad that that works for you, Bexy Beans. You wish you could get the Trident to be reliable? Yeah, so projects in Dad's Garage. I tried asking earlier and you might have stepped away. Which printer did you put your PPS CF parts on? And because you said you got really, really great input shaper values out of it because it was a full gantry and carriage setup out of the PPS CF parts. Which printer was that, and how are you liking it? And has it been difficult to tune prints in on it? That's the cable. So I guess my question here, has anybody worked with a PZ probe? It's a whole new printer. The 2.4 was always good, but now it produces even nicer parts. There you go. Okay, cool. Yeah, because I've got a lot, like I've got the CNC tap mounts on the stuff behind me, but when I go to Jabberwocky, I got to get rid of that mount, so I'm going to go with this, and I'll put a cartographer on it, right? Because these are PPSCF printed parts right here for the Jabberwocky. And I'll put a cartographer or beacon on it, right? Um, see the set command in the command section for this. I would love to see the set command in the command section. Where the hell is the command section? Um, okay, so that's PZ probe. This is the Revo PZ. We're on PZ probe. Oh well, this looks more promising. This at least looks like there's a lot more information here. That would have been lovely. Basic presets. I think we got the connection to the printer down. Make sure that is pointing out to the same stuff. Looks to be. Presets. By pressing the button on the controller, you can switch between 8 pre-configured presets. 7 of these are configurable via UART or I2C, while the preset 0 remains as the default and cannot be configured. Okay. These can be configured by looking at the configurations and commands section in this guide. On power up, preset 0 is used by default. If you choose to change the preset, for example, you choose preset 2, the PZ Pro board will power up using preset 2. Okay. Sets sensitivity of controller. Smaller number is more sensitive. The threshold value directly correlates to the 12-bit ADC. So if a threshold of 10 is set, the controller waits until the ADC reads a signal that is 10 or higher to trigger. Okay. Oh, well, that's so the first set of defaults. The filter is not active. Second one, the filter would be active. Five LEDs on the PZ. One labeled power, another is trig. Indicates when the PZ probe is triggered. That one does work when I tap the nozzle. Default. All the LEDs are off. If I go to one, off, off, on. Okay, so we're going to try and switch to the next trigger setting. Okay, so basically what I just did was went to the next sensitivity level. Yeah, so right now, my Trident 350 is has the Cyborg all-wheel drive CNC gantry on it, and it uses a takeoff tool head with a tube, an FXD extruder, and a beacon. Right, so that one's solid, good to go. The Trident's going to go the LVO all-wheel drive kit. Once KB3D gets them in, I pre-order it through KB3D. So he gets those in, he'll send it to me, and we'll bring that over to the bench, redo that gantry, and when we do that, we'll switch from the Filomatrix to a Jabberwocky, right? I mean, I can always leave it's running CNC Tap V2, and it's got a Fadus Next G hot end because I beta tested it. So it's got that in there, and it works perfectly fine. It's really, I can't leave well enough alone. And yes, it is a rising edge interrupt. So the trigger detection is rising edge trigger. So meaning as it gets higher with the amount of squish that's going on it. So I'm not even seeing any triggers, so I don't know why it wouldn't even go down. Chances are we were just stalling the motors. Yeah, the motors are going down, but they're not going down very quickly. And they were at half an amp, they're still not happy. So let's just keep giving them some onions. Drop it down to 6. Move it up to 6. The Jabberwocky by default is the the Jabberwocky. If you get the main kit, it comes default with the whatchamacallit, a bamboo style hot end. Now, with that said, we need to do all the wiring on this, but I'm trying to remember, this wasn't even, was it bamboo? I can't remember. No, it comes with a Fadus conch, And I'll be honest with you, I like my Fadus conch. My stealth changer is going to have Fadus conchs in it because I beta tested the Fadus conchs, by the way. So what is going on? The other thing to think of is I believe Slice Engineering has one that's a drop-in replacement. The Luke's Lab Pika is coming out is a drop-in replacement. I have 2 of those on order. So I'm probably going to get more of those in the near future. But the Jabberwocky, from what I can tell, is really good, and the Fadus conch is a really good hot end. It has a higher flow rate than the standard um, Bamboo Lab ones do. You're going to get closer to 20, 30, 25, 30 cubic millimeters per second, and the Pika is going to go even higher. So I guess while I was in there, because it's still hitting a little hard, that's not going to be the right way. Close that, going to the GBB 15, and I'm going to increase that stealth stall guard threshold to 95. Save and restart. Now, will it be compatible with other hot ends? I don't see why it can't be. The question is who's going to start doing the mods for it first? Still hitting pretty hard, so I'm going to make that 100. Okay, and it's still like it's moving, but it's not moving all the way, and I don't know why. So let's keep. At this point, we might as well not drop it at all, but we're stalling. And I forgot we wanted to not do that. Let's go again. All right. It is. It's going down with more authority, but it seems to think like it's not like low enough. Um, what's the I think it's just looking for a certain amount of drop, and it's not going all the way down. You like your famous hot ends, so I'd be okay with trying out the conch, but I was hoping that I could cut some corners and save a couple bucks. You know what? Um, there's 2 versions of Jabberwocky now. Okay, we'll sidetrack real fast to my favorite site. Um, Jabberwocky. So Jabberwocky. So this is the basic. So the basic is without the Nighthawk and without the hot end. Okay? So no tool headboard, no hot end. You can drop and replace if you've got boards and stuff. Hey Zombie, welcome on in. If you want to go complete assembled, that's going to be your highest priced option. That's $170 and it comes already done, just ready to mount. DIY non-assembled, this is all of the parts to include the tool headboard and the conch hot end, and that's going to be $140. So if you've got a tool headboard, the basic is going to be the thing for you. That will give you all of the gubbins to do the extruder and everything like that. But you're going to have to come up with your hot end, which go down to Micro Center, go to Bamboo, buy a straight Bamboo hot end. It's drop in, replace, it's drop in. You're just going to need a tool headboard. Most of us already have tool headboards. And this is not exclusive to the Nighthawk. You can put an EBB 36, a mellow board, or whatever board you want on this thing. So $63. If you have Bamboo hot ends laying around, there you go. If not, I think a Bamboo full, Bamboo hot end with heaters and stuff is $25, $30. So you're at $100. Then you would need a tool headboard if you had one. So, how's it going, Zombie? Hey, Big Jano, how's it going? Thank you for the subscribe for 19 months. Pretty awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And Zombie resubscribing for 20 months. Wow. That is crazy. Yeah, and that's the other selling point, Eddie, is get the complete kit. You get the conch hot end. They're great hot ends. I beta tested them. I know Zombie did as well, and I like them. I'm getting the Pika because it's going to give even more flow, right? And I think what I'm going to do is wind up running conchs with Orbiter 2s, and then the other two tool heads will start off with conchs and then switch over to Pikas with Galileo 2 extruders. And that'll be my 4 heads for the stealth changer. So what we're doing right now, Big Jano and Zombie and everybody, is we've got our PZ probe wired up. We're just trying to get it to actually do the Z probing. For whatever reason, it's still not going down and doing a full probe. Speed set at 5, samples are 2, retract distance is 3, sample tolerance retries is 1, lift speed is 10. We keep changing so I'm changing the current and dropping the current down because that's what it suggests. It actually suggested going to 40%. But we're running the Galileo 2 Z steppers here, right? Thank you for the 69 biddies, Bexy Beans. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are so sweet. We have a hype train incoming. Let's get some hype going here. So yeah, we're fighting some settings is what we're doing, Zombie. And I don't know if you've used the PZ probe yet and have any words of wisdom with the PZ probe? You're very mature. I think you are. You're an adult now. I mean, I'm an adult too. That doesn't mean we act our age, right? Um, so yeah, that's what I'm doing. Is I'm fighting, trying to get the Z probe. Lies. Hey, I said I'm an adult. I just don't act my age all the time. Um, you spent many days with the PZ. You need a filter and low sensitive. Okay, so you're saying that I need to go over to one with the filter active. So maybe go over to setting 4, which is the low sensitivity um, with the filter setup. 4 to start. Okay. And 4 is the first one on and the other 2 off. So let me get that set. All right, so we're at 4. Um, thanks for that, zombie. And what I'll do is, as painful as it's going to be, I am going to back this back down. We'll go down to 5. And we'll go back to the original 4. Go to the original. Let's try not to break anything on the first go around. It's not my machine. I'm just building it. Your Z motion was too high vibration for it to be reliable. Yeah, what were you putting? You were putting it on a bigger machine though, right? Ooh, I'm going to try and preempt it. Okay. No trigger after full movement. Well, that's okay. I might have actually not been putting it in the right spot, but okay. Um. Okay. Yeah, I'm not really getting. I mean, I'm giving a good push on this with my finger. All right. So quick tap works. Straight up push doesn't. So. All right. Let's try that again, and I'm just going to let it go. Where the hell did that vibration come from? Oh, it's coming because we are way skewed at the moment. What the hell happened there? Here, all kinds of cattywampus. Oh, no, we don't have to be perfect. Gosh. That was these were a little bit closer. Now, if all of them will be going at the same general speed, that would be helpful. That was weird. Okay, so 4.8 was moving them, but they were moving kind of cattywampus. So okay, these two are not as tight. If we could change them a little bit tighter, since these were definitely lagging behind. We don't have a hole in the middle. The tension. Oh wait, duh. There's a word. Word, word, word. The word is a bird. Oh, you had it on the tiny T. Oh, wow. All right, half turn, that got him a little bit closer. Let's see. So we're hanging in this one. So 2 is not going anywhere. So what is up with 2? Why are you all of a sudden being cantankerous? Yeah, I'm hoping we can get this reliable. This is definitely the first time I've done anything like this, so I'm wondering, is this so 0 and 1 or 0 and 2 should be moving in the same direction. Let me just make sure that I made the right change here earlier. So Z, direction, bang. Z1, direction, no bang. Z2, direction, bang. Z3, direction, No bang. Why is it? I don't know. It might be that we have a stepper that is stalling. So we'll increase the current a little bit and see if, because this one is just, this back corner is not moving, which means it's stalled. God, I really don't want to have to take that thing back apart. Yeah, this motor is stalling, which is causing the whole gantry to get cattywampus. We're gonna have to check that out and try and figure out what's going on there. That could be a mechanical thing. All right, sounds good, Warners. Hey, Shenanigans, how's it going? Doing good. I'm feeling better. I've been sick. I stopped on, on I didn't stream on Tuesday because I wound up going down to the urgent care and was sitting there. So trying to feel better. Doing the meds, so that helps. Okay, and so this is the motor that's doing wonky. This is the only motor that I did not touch and replace parts in. And I know that because all three of the other motors, the wires are coming kind of up. You know, they're facing up and out, where this one is facing down or towards the deck panel. So this is the only one I did not take apart. That one's working fine. This one's dragging. Why? Why are you dragging? You see a grown man cry as he has to take apart half a printer to check out a one of the wheels, one of the say the wheels, one of the Z motors. Okay. So I'll take this out. that piece out. 2 here, 1 here. Trying to look in there, and that's towards the edge of the motor. It's a double shear configuration. So why? It's a double shear configuration, and it's pushed that way. All right, I'm thinking. May not have to take the whole thing on. That would be the ideal thing. That comes out, that comes out. Now my curiosity is, yeah, so I had noticed in the past that if there's easier enough. So if you tighten the motors down too hard, the spur gear or the sun gear, right, that's on the motor that goes between the 3 planetary gears in the box will actually bottom out um, on the rear of the shaft for the planetary drive, and hence you will have issues with grinding and binding within the motor itself. Why are you not tightening? Because I've got to fight gravity. That's why. And I hate fighting gravity. Let's see. Will it be nice? Let me get it to it just doing this. Should have moved. They moved. Why did they move? I don't know. That's fine. So I've got loose nuts in here. Sounds so bad, but these two particular nuts are not. They're not. These two nuts are not like the others. These two nuts are not in the. They don't have the plastic backers behind them, and because of it, they sit a little low. So what I wind up having to do is flip this over because I don't have enough to. Walmart and NC is putting a Waffle House in the store. I wouldn't doubt it. I've got a Waffle House going in down the street from me. Makes no sense, but we got a Waffle House going in down the street from me. All right, so I'm going to have to flip this thing over, try and get these nuts aligned, and then come in from underneath because when you put in just plain nuts, they can drop down in the channel, and you're now fighting gravity trying to get everything in line. Bear with me as I try and get this. Out. So many freaking jokes. I apologize. I commend you all on being adult enough not to make. Okay, so what I did was I kind of went in and loosened the two mounting screws ever so slightly. And what that should allow is the motor itself to have a better chance of working without binding on the back of the planetary shaft. So that's the issue that we're fighting with is catching the. God, give me the. Well, we're catching the backside of the planetary shaft and causing some drag on the motor. And the large amount of vibration that we were experiencing before was just me not realizing that the gantry had gotten so far out of square. Okay. Now, let's see if we've reduced that dragging. And we'll also add a little bit to the speed. You watched a doc on WH. They have an interesting business model. Oh, Waffle House, yeah. You got a laptop with Linux? Nice. Hey, Pete, how's it going? Welcome in. Yeah, yeah, like I said, we've got a Waffle House going, and it looks so small and tiny on the plot of land that they've cleared for it. I'm like, we're gonna have like a 40-car parking lot and a Waffle House that looks like it's big enough for the fry, and like 2 tables and 6 counter booths or counter stools or something. I don't know. Okay, so we're there. What I was gonna think about doing was we're gonna increase this to 6. 6, not plus. Don't think plus a little. So give it a little bit more oomph that it could possibly get around whatever it may be dragging on. Do a whole wall. Okay. Now we're going a bit too far. Just raise it up some. Why you want to fight me and go all catty on? So that seemed a little too much. Ooh. So where are we at? We're at 4, so we're filtered. We're on 4, right? Yes. So we're filtered and we're on the lowest threshold setting, I think. We're on 4. 4 is threshold of 5. Trigger detect, filter is active. Safety trigger is active. 10 and 15. So the higher the threshold, smaller numbers is more sensitive. So the smaller number should be best and give it the most sensitivity. So there is an option for 7, but 7 7 7 might be doable because if 5 it hit and then coming in for the second one it was going even further down. So I either need to be more sensitive, which would be going to 7, and 7 would be all of the lights on. Okay, so if I'm reading the chart right, 7 is the most sensitive, right? We were just at 4, and it wasn't triggering as much on the second tap. Now, I did need to raise the current up some. Because I felt like I was still lagging and dragging. Let's go back down just a little bit. So we should be super sensitive. Go ahead and do our X and Y. We'll have our finger ready to go on the emergency stop. And that may be too sensitive. Maybe too sensitive. Let's go back to the 5 since we dropped our. Since that finally gave us one probe. Setting 4. Yeah, that makes sense. When it's doing its second probe, it's hitting and going, it's starting to bend the extruder down. Shooting. Plastic buildup on the nozzle? No. Um, we'll back to that and I'm gonna back that up to 5. think it needs to be. All right. It's the second trigger that's not happening. It is the second trigger that's not triggering. You recommend eating at one once? What's that, a truck stop or the Waffle House? I guess I should be paying more attention. Um, I liked going there, right? I liked going to Waffle House. Waffle House is not like me since my gastric bypass. Hey, Jedi Spidey, how's it going? We are heading up to Printopia on Thursday. Like, literally next week. I'm taking off next Wednesday, or next Wednesday through Monday, the following week, and we're driving up on Thursday. And then that way we'll be up there. We'll have a night to rest and relax in the hotel. And then we'll get up Friday and we'll go help LDO and Eco LDO. We'll go help EcoMate KB3D get loaded in, and we'll load in as well. You were saying the second Waffle House? Yeah, there is a Waffle House on the other side of town, and then we have one that's going in right next to me. But it's going to be a hard sell to go to Waffle House instead of Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah, this is supposed to be working at Printopia. That's why I'm working on this one like a madman right now. Why? It triggers the first time, and then the second time it's not triggering. Why is it not triggering on the second go around? It sets the current to 45, it does the probe, it goes back up, and then it comes back down. It's 5 millimeters when probing. Doing 2 samples. Ten going up, 5 going down. Yes, the event is Saturday and Sunday. The event is Saturday and Sunday. Um, the express to you how dangerous. is in the way. I'm stepping back through here around everything. Got a death wish or something. Yeah. Well, I just need something to come up that's through. What's it? What do you think? Yes, you heard me talking about upgrading you. It doesn't mean I'm going to throw you away or get rid of you. I'm going to upgrade you. Make you have better things. Look for me. This is what possibly having an issue with the SD card. Ay, ay, ay. What I'm trying to do is bring up a printer so that I can compare files. That's what I'm trying to do. I just want to try and compare printer settings. Ba, 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 ba. X offset, Y offset, Z offset, speed, samples, type of result, retract distance, sample tolerance. Okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything weird or different. 10, X, Y, speed, samples, retract distance, retries. The only really well, apparently it heard something. Don't know what it heard, but oh, where are you going? This way? Okay. Um, so yeah, I'm looking and trying to compare between how the PZ probe is set up and how some of my other things that are doing tapper setup. and I'm not getting the warm fuzzy, right? So this has got, I'm going through and looking at the way the probing is set up on, this is the 2.4. It's using tap. So, define the pen, okay. X, Z, for X, Y, Z offset's going to wind up being 0. We're done. Speed is 5. I doubt, really do. But right now, we're going to set that to 0. It should overwrite. And just for giggles, position minimum is -5. Not down. X and Y holding just fine. That one went down harder, and why are you somewhere? Shouldn't be. I have to try and measure this up to make sure that they're all close and I'm not getting any binding at the motors. All right, I'm gonna have to play with this, and we're gonna play with this off screen. I'm gonna have to do some reaching out and research because I don't know Yeah, I don't know why it triggers once and then the second time it's trying to drive down past the bed like it's not triggering the second time, which doesn't make sense to me. Um, I don't know if maybe I just need to twist my wires. I don't know. It's weird. Um, yeah, I'm not even getting tapping it with my finger. I'm not even getting reliable reading. Yeah, I don't know. It's yeah, I don't know. I'll have to take a double, I'll double check everything. Um, I'll reach out and throw a lifeline to a couple of people to see if we can get some assistance, right? And I guess what we can do, right? Let's make some progress. We don't need, yes, we need to figure out the homing, but what we can do in the meantime is pit two, right? Like figure out the homing, probe check. Yeah, we need to do a probe accuracy check. But I first need it to be able to probe more than once. Let's do a nozzle pid and a bed pid. You're off to adult. Catch you tomorrow. What do you mean by you're off to adult? One, that implies you're an adult, and two, like you mean parent. Okay, there you go. There you go. Two different things there. Adult, parent, two different things. You got to get the little one ready for bed so that she's prepared to go. Is she going to school tomorrow, or she got tomorrow off? Hey, good news is the heater's heating up. He's in school. You're confusing me, dude. All right. So we've got pin two going on. I'm going to mute the mic real fast because I need to take care of my nose. I'll be right back. All right. I'm back. pin tunes happening. We're pin tuning the bed first, and then we'll do the hot end. Bed is heating up. Interestingly enough, doing a pin tune, it doesn't kick in the fans. We still need to also work on the lights. The big thing I have with the lights is I need to, for the lights, I need to find new mounts to get the mounts right on it, and then I can run the lights. Other than that, we're pretty much there. It's just getting this PZ probe to work. And I'm not sure what else to do with the PZ probe. So I said I need to reach out to Steve Builds, because one, he built this exact build. So it's all good. Diesel, go parent. Stop chatting. Yeah, I know. That's why I said I needed him to extrapolate a little bit there. Um, I I don't know. PZ probe is so new to me too. It's I have a wire routed somewhere where it's getting crimped. You know, why is it not triggering reliably, right? So you know what? I wonder. I don't know. I have some thoughts. I have some thoughts. Let's see. I think it's going to be very sensitive about like the way the nozzle's hitting, and because there's a slight, so the tool head isn't vertical, it's slightly cambered back, which means when it hits the nozzle, it's not squishing evenly on the ring, and that might be why it's triggering. I might have to do something. So I'm gonna do a bed pid, and then I'll do a tool head pid, and we'll get some of that stuff. We've already validated that all the fans are working as appropriate. Oh hell, I didn't even realize that the pid had completed. There you go. The screen hadn't updated, so I didn't notice that it was done. So we'll save the config, do its restart. We'll come over here meanwhile and grab the pig command for the tool head. I'm going to set the part cooling fan to 25%. Whoops. Part cooling fans 25%. We'll get this pin going. This should be a faster pin calibrate. Smaller thing, it's heating up. Meanwhile, let's take a quick gander and see who's out there that we can raid into. Piano looks like he is getting ready to start. He should be doing marble races tonight. We'll keep an eye on him. He's in the 2-minute countdown. Last few more minutes here. We'll go ahead and let this pid finish. Once the pid's done, we'll go ahead and call it for the night. My nose is starting to do its thing again, which means it's time for me to go and take my antibiotic for the night so that it'll stop clogging up and give me an opportunity to breathe, because that's a good thing when you're sleeping. I will try to, Shenanigans. Are you at home tonight or are you on the road? Right, that toolhead pid has completed. Go ahead and save the config. That hot end fan should come back on. Yep. So we did our pid tunes. We've got our X and our Y going good. We've got that stuff figured out. Our Z is still something's doing weird stuff on the Z. I don't know what's going on there. We're gonna look at that. We're gonna look at the PZ probe, and yeah, I think that's about it. That's all I'll be able to do. I'm gonna probably wind up having to take the tool head off to do some things to try and see if I can't get that tilt out of it. Maybe shunt the top bolts to bring the tilt out some. I don't know why the gantry. I know Steve went and checked, and his gantry was not bone twisted or anything like that. So it's not twisted in the gantry. It's literally something in the way the ant head tool head mounts that's causing the issue. So yeah, we'll have to see if we can't figure that piece out. But yeah, beyond that, you guys have a great evening. Like I said, Jano should be starting any second now, and as soon as I see him pop up, we're going to go ahead and get a raid started over to him. But you guys have a great night, and you might see me some tomorrow night because I've got to work on this. I've got to get this done and get plastic going through this and the riff. I'm out of time, right? I'm out of time. So we've got to get stuff done. Saturday stream. There will be a Saturday morning stream. Miss Dragon's coming back Saturday. Yeah, Miss Dragon's coming back on Saturday, so I gotta go get her at the airport. I think she's ready to come back, and I'm ready to have her back. Except, yeah, I've got to. The dining room, living room is still a mess, but then again, it's a mess for show reasons. So hopefully, I get a pass on that until after the show, and then I get to have to put everything back up. All right, Jano is up and running, so we're going to go ahead and get the raid started over to Jano. Everybody, join me on this raid as we go over there. Show some love to Big Jano. He is an awesome designer and 3D printer, and he really supports this channel as well. So everyone have a good night, and I will see you guys on Saturday, if not before. Bye now, everybody. And if you're watching this on YouTube later on, thank you for sticking around. Please be sure to hit the like button. And if you like what you see, please hit subscribe. Click that bell to be notified of future videos. And YouTube's going to be suggesting another video for you right over here. Take care.